Hey, I'm Nurse Martinez. Welcome back to my channel. Like, share, comment, all that good stuff. As promised, I was trying to make sure I bring you a weekly vlog for the channel. Any questions or anything like that that y'all have, please write down below. This vlog today is going to be about applying to NP school. Okay, you have your bachelor's. You do need your bachelor's degree in nursing in order to apply for a master's in nursing. So find out what it is that you want to do in your master's level. What emphasis? Do you want to do certified midwifery? Do you want to do nurse practitioner like myself? Do you want to go into the education part and maybe be a clinical instructor or a professor or even an educator in your hospital organization? Do you want to go from your master's to your DNP? They have a bridge program for that. So find out exactly what it is that you want to do, which route you want to take, and then start looking at the universities that offer certain things, the type of population, when it comes to NP. That was me. I was stuck in between family nurse practitioner and pediatric nurse practitioner because I was like, I don't really know exactly what it is. Do I want to treat everybody? I liked, treating adults because it's nice to talk to adults and have adult conversation. But I also liked, that kids are so resilient and they could be so sick and they're just so happy. And it's so sweet to see them feel better and get better and grow. And so just decide what it is that you want to do. So going in, I was like, okay, let me look at programs that offer for family FNP and for pediatric NP and go from there. Also, do you want to do acute or primary? Acute care is in the hospital mainly. Primary care is doctor's offices, private offices, community health clinics, things like that. You can also be in the hospital with that. Just depends. It depends on the hospital and all that, but that it's more detailed later that you don't really need right now. And so that's how I kind of looked at the type of programs I wanted to be in. I wanted to do primary care. So when I looked at the universities that had that, there was some that were 100% online. There were some that were hybrid, so like half in class, half online. And so you just really have to figure out what works for you. Do you work Monday through Friday? Do you work 3/12s? Do you have family? Do you have work? I mean, like how much can you really give to this program? And then once you decide, okay, I kind of have an idea, find out their prerequisites. So that's another thing. You have to have your bachelor's, like I mentioned earlier. And then you'll also need nursing experience. It could be 1 to 2 years. It can even be 6 months depending on the program. And my program, as long as you have a year of nursing experience, you can be in the program doing your classes, but you have to have at least a year of experience by the time you get to the actual clinical part. And then your immunizations have to be up to date. If you already work in a hospital facility, more than likely they're already up to date. You need your flu shot, your tetanus, your booster, your Tdap booster. So if you don't work at a organization that offers those immunizations, you can go to your doctor's office or to a pharmacist, minute clinic, things like that. The other thing is they'll want your transcripts. They may or may not want your GRE, which is an exam for graduate classes, or your GMAT, GMAT, or your GRE. So it just depends on the school. Also the scores. If you've already taken it so many years, you can still use those scores. So you have to look at the universities. You have to find out what they require. And then tuition. I got into tube, and one of them is accelerated, like it goes faster. It was 100% online, but the tuition was like double of what my other school that I'm currently at now, and we paid for our tuition, for my tuition, in the beginning, and I was like, oh, I can't do that. So I switched for the latter, and it worked out just great because I really like being in class every once in a while. So, and you're not in class every day. You're in class once a week. So that's another thing. So your prerequisites, look at that. Your GRE or your GMAT, if you need to take those. If you've already taken them, how long ago have you taken them, and how long are they good for the universities that you're applying for? Also, financial aid. Are you going to need financial aid? Are you going to need assistance? So look into that. They have, my school offered like nursing loans. They also offered, financial aid like student loans or grants depending. And if you're in the military, like my husband had his Pell Grant. So if you are a military vet or in the military, and you've already taken most of it, there's another, I think, Hazelwood Act as well. So that's another thing to consider if you're able to do that and you have that. And you don't have to pay the grants back. It's the loans that accrue interest. And while you're in school, you don't have to necessarily pay it, but it'd be wise of you to at least try to pay the principal while you're in school, because as soon as you're done, I believe it's 6 months after you graduate, it's like, bam, there's your bill. You need to start paying. So it'd be nice if you can pay a minimum, while you're going through it. That way, when you look at it, it's not that bad when it comes back to you. So the book that I used for my GRE, I loved it. It was a really good book. It was, I believe, by Manhattan Prep. I don't have it with me. I gave it to somebody else so that they can use it. I will do a link so you can see it. And then I really liked that book. It helped me. I went through the whole book. I skipped a couple of things. It's just a refresher, especially if you haven't been in school for a while. I was out of school for a while. I did a lot of exams. I did a lot of practice tests, a lot. I think I learned best that way, by doing and seeing where I need to focus more of my emphasis on. And I passed, and I sent my scores in. Your GPA is another thing you need to consider, what your GPA was in undergrad. If you have some master level classes from a different master's, or you're considering transferring, that is also taken into account. You may need to have an essay. You may need to be interviewed. So have like your little elevator speech, I say, of why you want to do this and why you should be considered. Just kind of like your interview. You always have to have an elevator speech. Really quick, something that'll snag them in and be like, oh, okay, well, yeah, that's really good. The other question is, how long is it going to take me to finish my master's? I'm tired of being in school, and I do want to go back to school, but how long is this going to take? So it really depends on you. It depends on your program. It depends if you want to do accelerated, like I mentioned previously. It depends on if you want to go the traditional route, whether it's hybrid or fully in class. The hours for a master's full-time, to be considered full-time, is 9 hours, and part-time is 6 hours. So my program allowed us, so full-time would be 2 classes for us each semester. So it can go anywhere from 2.5 years to 3.5 years. Really just depends on the type of program, the type of, like what your life is about, like your work, your life outside of everything else, like what is doable for you. So for me, I decided to take the plunge because I'm just crazy like that. I don't know. But I figured, let's just do 2. What's the least that can happen? Whatever. Yeah. When I first took it, I was like, oh my God. And I was just like, what am I thinking? Why did I just do this to myself? And, my husband, I love him. He just pushes me. He's like, Anna, he's kind of pretty much like, get it together and finish. You'll be fine. And I'm like, all right, and so I finished, and I'm alive, and I'm still here, and I'm almost done. So I just continued like that. I just every semester I took 2 classes. So some of my classmates didn't. They decided like, we can't do this every 2 classes a semester. We're going to do 1 class a semester. And believe me, 1 class a semester is a lot. Like now that I'm further into my program, we are doing 1 class this semester, but it's a 5-hour credit class. So it entails a lot, and that's not just the class, it's the clinical hours. Once you start getting into the hours, it requires a lot more of you. I'm almost done. I'm in May. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so ready to get it done and over with. I love it. I love the journey. Don't get me wrong, but I'm ready to just to really enjoy it. And it's really great because towards the end of your semesters, you start doing your hours, and gosh, it's nice. It's nice to get, I'm very hands-on, so it's nice to be hands-on once I get to that point, kind of like clinicals in nursing school. You start off with like your didactics, like your classes, and kind of brings you up to that. So we'll talk more about that on another video. But yeah, so I hope I can answer your questions for the actual beginning, considering your master's. I say do it if you think that's where you want to be. If you know that's where you want to be, do it. I did it. Like, I'm doing it. So I know that you can too. You have a great day.